Good morning, my dear children. Today we are going to talk about very important topic, that is going to be figures of speech, as it is requested by you. So this is the video, first part of figures of speech, and we'll talk about those poetic devices, poetic figures of speech, as well as those used in drama. Not all the dramatic figures of speech, the poetic figures of speech. And in the next video I'll try to upload those dramatic figures of speech or dramatic devices. Now in this one I would like to tell you that animated videos or actions have taken place. So go through this one properly. Now what are figures of speech? These are the literary devices. We use ornament to decorate ourselves. We use beautiful pictures, beautiful items to decorate our house. So the authors, the writers, the dramatists, the novelists, the poets, they use beautiful words, beautiful phrases, beautiful sentences. Sometimes it is comparison, sometimes it is opposite to each other, in order to beautify the work, the literary work. So when beautiful words are used, beautiful terms are used in literature, we call it figures of speech. It is of different kinds: metaphor, simile, personification, oxymoron, hyperbole. So all these things I am going to explain here in this video. And figures of speech is also called the literary terms. Often it is called the literary terms. So figures of speech, literary terms, rhetorics, almost similar to each other. So go through this one and pay attention and write down everything that is going to be displayed in this video. Thank you very much, dear. Go through. So our first figures of speech is irony. Now, irony can be defined as when the actual meaning is the complete opposite from the literal meaning, or sometimes what we expect, it happens just the opposite. It is written contradicting actual and literal meaning. Now here first one is verbal irony, second is situational irony, and dramatic irony. Verbal irony, as you can so I can say in bad situation that I am fine, but actually it means I am not that fine. Situational irony, it exposes a situation, just like one man is saying that his butterfly days are over. That means his holidays are over. It is not that he is no more a butterfly. And dramatic irony, that is related to comedies or tragedies. Irony can be funny, but it is not at any means. All the time you don't expect ironies to be funny. Great ironists like Shakespeare, Jonathan Swift, Jane Austen have written some great works. Irony is basically for dramas and stories. Second, we are going to talk about alliteration. That is very important part, very important figure of speech in poetry. It is the repetition of an initial consonant. Just like seashells by the seashore. Here you can see the repetition of the term of the letter S. So it is going to be an alliteration. Just like whose woods these are, I think I know. Whose woods? This is also an example of irony. Second, I'm going to take the reference from The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. While I nodded, nearly napping. All three are initially the letter alphabet, and it is the consonant sound, so it is going to be alliteration. Here Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. So here all the P are confirming an alliteration. Then onomatopoeia. This is the use of word that imitate the sound associated with the object or action they refer to. Bang bang into the roof. I know you want it. So this is taken about the sound of the roof. Boom, bedroom, boom, boom, bedroom, boom. Baby, he got the super bus. So this is also an example of onomatopoeia. Tick tock on the clock, but the party don't stop. So here the sound is being referred. Third one is knock, knock, knock the door. This is also a sound. So onomatopoeia is basically related to the sound produced by different objects or incidents. The use of words that imitate the sound associated with the object or action they refer to. Now here we can see the sound of the car, honking of the car. So honking of the car is the onomatopoeia, not honking, honking of the car. Many more examples we have in our real lives. Second one, as you can see, the leaves. The sound of the leaf you can get here. So you tell me what should be the sound of the leaves called. And you can see the buzzing bee afterwards. The onomatopoeia, example of onomatopoeia is buzzing bee. So the sound is being referred here. So whenever it is related to sound, it is onomatopoeia. Then we'll have one of the most important one, that is called personification, a type of figurative language that assigns human-like qualities to non-human things. It looks like the non-human thing is going to be like a human thing or human activities. Just like sometimes trains are compared to she or he. Now the book spoke to my heart. The book is non-living, but it seems like books are human or a living part is talking to me, to my ears. So here the book spoke to my heart is an example of personification. In Merchant of Venice also you could have find such term. You could have found such word, just like fly by her open wings. Her means here the ship. The ship is compared to a lady. The lemon juice attacked my taste bud. Attacked. It is basically related to living object, especially human. Human beings attack the opponent. The enemy attacks the opponent. So here attacked is the term that is giving this lemon the like or the human type status. So this is an example of personification. So personification gives status, living status to non-living things. In Merchant of Venice it is used in plenty. It is found in drama, poetry as well as in story. The sea was nice and calm. Now basically a human being can be nice and calm, but here the sea seems to be like a human. So it is obviously an example of personification. So personification refers to what? Giving status to giving living status to non-living things. Now next we are going to talk about metonymy and synecdoche. Now the former device makes a substitution. Now look, it is a match. I am giving a memory device. Metonymy begins with aim, so does match. We will go for further example to get it cleared. Metonymy and synecdoche are not that important. With synecdoche, a small part represents the whole. That's another memory device. Synecdoche starts with S, so does small. Here is an example of synecdoche. A child shows know the ABC. Here ABC, that is the small part that represents the entire alphabet. That means A to Z. A child should know A to Z. Another example of synecdoche, I feed many mouths at home. Here written, it means my salary supports many family members. I feed means my salary supports many members in my house. So one term mouth represents the entire family. I wear glasses. A person actually wears spectacles or eyeglass. Glass is a part. He is not wearing only glass. A frame is also needed. It is an example of synecdoche. But what if the lens are plastic? The two devices are related. I have read definition that cites something as an example of one. Consider lend me your ears. It means pay attention with your mind. But ears are involved in this metonymy synecdoche. I have seen it cited as an example for each. Now we'll talk about it later. Keep it in mind, metonymy and synecdoche are not that much important for your syllabus, yet we should know this one. Give me a hand means you help me. That is synecdoche but somewhat metonymy. I'll make a separate video on metonymy because it is large, very important. The pen is mightier than sword. That is an example of metonymy. So further example you can pause there and go through. Now very important one is oxymoron. Two opposite texts seem to contradict each other, or the two opposite terms got juxtaposed. That means placed one after another. Just like open secret. How can secret be opened? Pretty ugly. That means almost ugly. Now pretty opposite term, ugly, these two are opposite term. Just like crocodile's tear. Now, jumbo shrimp. Jumbo shrimp is small shrimp. They are called jumbi. How can it be? Catfish. How can a fish be cat? These are the opposite terms. Larger half. Give me the larger half of the bread. How can it be larger half? Only choice. Choice means I should have plenty, but how can it be only? Virtual reality. Now it is already virtual, then it is called reality. Act naturally. How can a person act naturally? So these are the example of oxymoron. And this is the figure of speech in which two opposite ideas are juxtaposed, not two opposite words. Man proposes, God disposes. Proposes and disposes, you can see, related to man and goat. So oxymoron, two terms, and here we have two speeches or two phrases got juxtaposed or got mixed to each other. So this is the basic difference. Many are called, but few are chosen. So it is not about word. There we have seen that open secret. Two words are juxtaposed. Here two statements are juxtaposed. Speech is silver, but silence is golden. Two opposite speeches are juxtaposed. Epigram. An epigram is a brief saying with contradictory ideas which excites surprise and grabs attention. An epigram. So surprising term it will be. The child is the father of man. We read in William Wordsworth poetry. So the child is father of the man. This is obviously very contradictory, very shocking term. So epigram is more than oxymoron. Is far more interesting and surprising than oxymoron. Art lies in concealing art. So these are the terms which evoke in us a kind of surprise. So epigram is far more higher and far more stronger than oxymoron. He makes no friend who never made a foe. Full rush in where angels fear to tread. Hyperbole, very very important. Is figure of speech where an exaggerated statement is made in order to emphasize a point. Exaggerated statement. That means we will speak something that is not in reality. Oh my gosh, it's 147 degree outside today. It should be mentioned Fahrenheit or centigrade. 147 degrees centigrade, that means it is boiling hot. So it is exaggerated. Example 2. I have not seen you since dinosaur's age. That means for a long time. Dinosaur's age means millions of years. Actually the speakers want to say it has been a long time I have not seen you. So it is also exaggerated. So hyperbole is exaggeration. Next. Now we are going to talk about the function of this one. Emphasis. Get your point across. Attract attention. Obviously to attract attention. To make the point clear also we sometimes use this type of thing. And third one, if we look at, as it is not mentioned, I am going to tell you one more thing, that hyperbole basically used by the poets. In you will find these things in daffodils, where the poet says the 1,000 I saw. 1,000 daffodils he did not count. 10,000 daffodils he did not count. Strong feelings you have to create strong impatience, and obviously the statement is going to be far more attractive to the readers. So in many poetry you will find this one, whether it is going to be Shopping by Woods by Robert Frost, or next, what do you have in this bag? Bricks. The bag is extremely heavy, so it is said that bag is you are carrying bricks in your bag. I'll come to you by moonlight, though hell should bar the way. Taken from The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes. I'll come to you by moonlight. No one can come using moonlight, by making moonlight as a vehicle. So it is also an example of hyperbole. Keep it in mind, hyperbole is massively used in English literature. Nothing will stop him from coming. Nothing means what? That means nothing can stop him. So it is also exaggerated. Nothing means no one. That means that is zero. Next, Stopping by woods, the line I can remember that the darkest evening of the year. The poet mentioned the darkest evening. He did not know whether it is darkest or not. Example 5. It is so cold outside, I saw polar bears wearing jackets. That means it is extremely cold outside. If polar bears wear jackets, that means what? The cold outside is extreme. So instead of mentioning that it is very cold, it is mentioned that polar bears wearing jackets. Now, after this one, we are going to talk about two important parts, simile and metaphor. Now, simile and metaphor, the basic difference that we are going to find that simile is a figure of speech in which there is a direct comparison between two objects or different kinds using the word like, as, or so. So it is direct comparison. There is no indirect. Just like he is as fast as a cheetah or a tiger. Now, comparison between two objects of same kind is not simile. This book is like that book, it cannot be simile. Now, simile, just like words are like winds. So here the words are directly compared using like with the wind. If I use the words work like wind, that is metaphor, because there is no direct comparison. As proud as peacock, that is using as, we are comparing someone with peacock. But if I say he is a peacock, that means he is not a bird like peacock, but actually he is as proud as peacock. So when the comparison is direct, it is simile. When it is indirect, that is going to be metaphor. Clear as crystal, as cool as cucumber. Metaphor is an implied simile. That is all the similes are metaphor, but not all the metaphors are simile. There is no direct comparison. But this figure of speech says that two things are one. Camel is the sheep of desert. That means what? Sheep help us to what? Cross the sea or the ocean. Here the desert help us to have our journey in the desert. So here the sheep, camel is compared to the sheep. It is not that geometrically they look alike. Life is a stage. So here the life is compared to the drama stage. You can compress any simile to form a metaphor. It is very easy to form metaphor from simile. Camel is like the sheep of the desert. This is simile because I have used the term like. So it is direct. When I use like, as, or so, it is direct comparison. Now, what I am going to do here, the camel is the sheep of desert, then it is going to be metaphor because like is missing here. So here I have to understand the fact that in case of traveling, the camel and the sheep are same. Life is a stage, simile, but life is like a stage is metaphor. Now, camels who are just helping us to cross the extreme desert, in the same way the sheep do the same, help us to cross the sea. So in that case they are compared, indirectly compared. Now if it is directly, then I can say the sheep is like a camel is like a sheep in the desert. But if you don't use like, it is going to be metaphor. It is very easy to understand. Now if I tell you that a person, he is a lion. Lion does what? Lion is extremely powerful animal. So he is lion means he is as strong as lion. And if he fights like a lion in the battlefield, that is simile, like a lion. But if I say that he is a lion in the battlefield, that means what? That means I have to understand the fact he fights like a lion in the battlefield. So that's all for today. Thank you very much.